Here we are. There we go. We're live. There's going to be a delay, as y'all know, because the streaming software is not on point with everything I got popping. So it is what it is. Give me a second. Um, but this is one of those ones where I get to again just show my point of view, what I believe, right? Not to say that I don't care what anybody else believes. I'm not here to belittle anyone or berate them or any way, shape, or form bring them down. I'm here to show you how I see history. The same way that they have their initiative or their will or their desire to interpret the information a certain way, I too have the inclination to interpret information a certain way. And if I want to say that we live in white heaven, right, based on certain conditions, certain things that they've obviously forced the people to have to deal with and to undergo, I have the right to say that. And that's not anybody's position to try to challenge something that, once again, they're not going to do anything for. You understand? So here we go. I'm going to pull up a window here. Give me one moment. And that's going to be on the, where we at? It's going to be on the ethnography. There we go. We'll start there, and then we'll pick up for what it means for these endless wars. Give me a second, though. Get that shared with y'all. Okay. Okay. So here we are right now, and I know it says endless wars, so we have to. I won't even start at where they get mentioned in two different histories first. Okay, 98 BCE by the Romans, 279 BCE by the Greeks. Let's just go ahead and keep it pushing. This is way after all that. Through the 9th and 15th centuries were times of great struggle in Europe. Stop. So I need y'all to understand. If I read something to y'all, like, I don't know, the rise of the Franks a little bit later, 330 to 751, 150 years out, or really, really close to year 800, which would be the 9th century, I need y'all to understand that's all war. All they're doing is warring. That's it. That's all. They're not doing anything else. So before anybody tries to get fishy or to get funny style, please respect the fact that you have to look at the information the way that I'm seeing it, because I see it a peculiar kind of way. I don't see the information. Um, they told me this, so this is all there is. If I read this information and I understand that before all this, you had guys like Clovis and his bloodline and all those who would come after him to make war upon the earth. Okay, all those before him who made war upon the earth. All right, so all they've been doing this whole time is warring. That's it. You cannot point to me and show to me any time in the world history for any so-called empire or dynasty after or after the before common era, so AD, what the people want to call after death, but no, it's actually beast. There's BC and then there's BCE and then there's CE. So this should say 700 CE common era, right? Everybody knows it as that number, or unless you're Arabic and the numbers are 300 years off. That's neither here nor there. Through the ninth to the 15th centuries were times of great struggle in Europe. Europeans' powers struggled with one another for territorial and commercial dominance, and Western and Eastern Christendom struggled with one another with Islam for religious and cultural dominance. Stop right there. Does anybody remember the stuff that I showed y'all the other day? I'm not bringing up anything about the Huns. You either do or you don't know. You see what I'm saying? That, you know what? I take that back. If you don't know, let me give you a brief overview. I'm not going to berate you like that. I just said I wouldn't berate you, and here I go. The Huns are not a Germanic group, even though those who would have been part of the Khans or the Huns, depending on how you see them and what frame of time you're looking at, these same groups, right, have people under their banister that claim to be of Germanic tribe or of Germanic origin, though they don't look anything what you would consider Germanic. So my point is this. When it says to you, all these things, you're reading about 2, possibly 3 different genealogies that have no root lineage on the earth. 2 for sure. But the third being one that I can't put my finger down on because, like I said, if yellow hair and blue eyes makes them so-called Germanic, right? And these other cats don't look they look nothing like that. The question is where did the curly hair come from? I already know the answer to that, but that's from a group that is from the earth, has been on the earth. In other instances, there are black Mongoloids, okay, who made it with the white-skinned Germanic folks who helped to create the class of Mongoloids that you see today. I can't get too carried away in that. It's all good. Because then people would start to understand why the Chinese are really in Africa. It's deeper than you think. Let's just keep looking though. The struggle for religious dominance resulted in North African Berbers, Mid-Eastern Arabs, and other Muslim people from Morocco occupying the Iberian Peninsula for 700 years. 712 AD to 1492 AD. Now, let me just go ahead and break something down. This is all after major points in history. Now, I'm going to go something way later that's totally unrelated to endless wars. But just so y'all understand that every civilization on Earth for a long time did not conduct themselves in this way. Now, this is supposed to be about slavery, but I'm not here to read about slavery. Not to say I don't care about that. That's not my focus. I need y'all to understand that these cats stayed here till 1492. Okay? The same year that Christopher Colombo would sail out of Spain, okay, trying to prove that the earth wasn't flat, but it was round. England and France embarked on the Crusades to retake the Holy Land from Muslims, whom Christians call the infidels. Now, it's weird that these dudes would say that, but these same so-called Christians ate swine and didn't even cook their meat all the way through. How I know this is because these Christians were Roman Catholics for the most part. They were Catholics 99% of the time. And to make matters worse, 98% of the time. To make matters worse, okay, they followed the doctrine and the teachings of one Saul or Paul of Tarsus, whom we all know is a derelict and an apostate, who does not follow the laws of Moses, but goes after the vanities of his own heart. Having said that, those branch of Christians, so-called people of the faith, so-called, try to retake the Holy Land from the Muslims, right? But the only problem with that is that you can't take something that's not yours. Come on, hear me. Now, why this is really critical is for 2 reasons. One, we're talking about a 600-year period here alone. Guaranteed. Embroiled in war. I told y'all this is why they did the slave trade in the first place, but we're just going to keep reading. As the 15th century came to a close, Europeans embarked upon exploration of the New World and Africa in search of expanded territory. That's a lie. New goods, precious metals, and new markets. That's a lot. Listen, y'all. They didn't have a foothold into the so-called land of Africa. And when I say a foothold, I'm talking about they couldn't even get in there until like the 18 or 1900s. This is documented information. Okay? These so-called Africans were selling niggas, okay, for booze and for white women. Stop it. In the New World, Europeans first tried to meet this need by enslaving American Indians and relying on European indentured laborers. They couldn't cut the mustard. Can't cut the mustard back then, can't cut the mustard now. No disrespect to anybody who claims to be indigenous to this land. Okay? Could not cut the mustard. When I say couldn't cut it, you cats betrayed you in order for you to be in a position to even happen to be fighting invaders. You couldn't accept the fact that you lost, and then you couldn't accept the place that you had to play for however long you had to play. Come on. This is why I laugh, because folks don't understand. When they talk about slave revolts and things like that, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know a fucking thing. Where are we at, Meech? Leave this place alone. Leave this one alone. We're just going to leave that there for half a second. No, I'm just going to pull it down. I'm going to talk to y'all. I need y'all to really understand what I'm getting at here. Check this out. If you really, honestly, talk about really believe that these cats haven't been involved in endless warfare for the better part of 2,000 years, you're lying to yourself. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. When they popped on the scene, first written down about 279 BCE. So the 500 BCE, we can totally scratch that, because how could you come down to lands that the Greeks, the Romans, the Mycenaeans, the Etruscans, and all other known people on the earth would have traveled and traversed at that time? And nobody seen or heard about you, didn't even write you down, didn't even write about you. That's number one. Number two, how do you explain the fact that the earth used to go periods without bloodshed? I'm talking about like it has been in endless turmoil. Endless. Now they're supposed to be apex predators. You have no known predator. So how could you have endless wars if you're apex? Listen to me, somebody. Is anybody really with me right now? Is anybody really rocking with your boy and actually hearing what I'm saying? Because it's deep. It's not just what people like. You know what I'm saying? It's not just what people want to hear. You know, it's not. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth sometimes. And sometimes that's just not enough for the people. What I'm trying to say is this, though, is that I believe, regardless of who's telling you the information, they have to be coming from a point of view that is really unbiased. For example, if I pull this page up, and I'm about to, come on, Rise of the Franks, give me a second. Or you have to look at my face for just half a second. Bang. Look at this. Let's move it over, son. So let's make it a little bit smaller. I think I have it blown up just a little bit too much. Is it going to react? Acting real, not wanting to be cooperative. Don't worry about it. I might have to make this just a little bit smaller. No, not helping. Oh well. We have seen that the Romans did not fall to murderous. Look at the word fall in quotes. What else happened to the Roman Empire if it didn't fall? Right? Listen to this. Let's read this. Let's just show you how stupid these cats are. We have seen that the Roman Empire did not fall to murderous hordes of savage barbarians. What else were they? The invaders. So you go on to say that they're not savage barbarians, then go on to say that they're invaders. See what I'm saying? The Gauls were known as savage barbarians. Nothing less. Let me just go ahead and keep it pushing. The invaders who toppled the empire in the West were relatively few in numbers, were Christians who had long contact with the Romans and had become sophisticated and partially Romanized by that contact. Stop right there. So the cats who overtook them were traitors, folks that have been trusted to come into the society and be taught the ways of real culture. Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Burgundians, and Vandals actually tried to restore and preserve much of Roman imperial culture and its institutions. Once again, y'all, think about what I'm saying. Endless wars. Since this year, 279. Can y'all see that? Do y'all see that invasion of Greece by the Gauls? Okay? Romans wouldn't even been able to beat the Greeks if the Greeks hadn't been fighting a war on two different fronts. The same cats that the Romans allowed to join into their armies helped bring down the Grecians, then helped bring them down. That's called poetic justice. Let's just keep going. It was the least advanced and Romanized Germanic tribe that formed the foundation of medieval European society. And the most important of these were the Franks. Stop right there. They're telling you, they want you and me to believe, right, that these cats who only knew warfare, to this day they're still warring. And they want me and you to believe that these cats didn't do something like, I don't know, wait till the dead of night to start murdering folks in their sleep. Because the only way you can do a hostile takeover without being few in number, you're talking about going up against the best army in the world at that time. The best infantry, the best all that. At that point in particular period of time, the Romans were the best. You're telling me that cats who were few in number, partially Romanized, partially sophisticated, were able to overtake them toe to toe? You really believe that? Or do you believe that, as which would be the known understanding, that these cats did something in the dead of night, real shiesty, under the careful, watchful eyes of those who were in the Roman Empire who allowed for this to take place in the first place? Let's just go ahead and go down. I need y'all to see this. This is the Mediterranean. Look, 330 to 751. That's a 400-year period. 420-year period. Okay? Nothing but warring and fighting and killing and raping and pillaging. That's it. And them forcing out of these lands the people that would have been there indigenously. So look how the world changed in just a couple hundred years. This is 451. Let me blow it up so I really can understand what I'm talking about. Look, the Huns are right here. The Huns are over here. This is 451. The Hunnic Empire is already there. The question is how'd y'all push back the Huns? We know y'all did. We know y'all didn't. We know y'all didn't push back the Huns. How'd you push them back? Unless y'all working together, how else that happen? Look. They done divvied up the land by this point. By 600 AD, they done divvied up the land. Them cats that came from who knows where, right? Lost in the sands of time cats. I just need y'all to understand that it's not for no reason. And just look at that map for a second, man. And I'm going to roll down to the other one. Just look at it and just understand. These dudes, for no rhyme or reason. So if they're saying that here, 330 to 751, now look at the timeline, y'all. The 9th century. Whoa. This shit hating. There we go. Bang. The 9th century through the 15th centuries were time of great struggle in Europe. The European powers struggled with one another for territorial commerce and for territorial and commercial dominance. Stop right there. This is another 600 years. Stop. So let's just do the math real fast. We're going to go to the Greece timeline, right? 279. So to get to the Common Era, you have to go 279 years, right? Then if you're just going to get to where these guys are at, to 751, that's another 750 years. So 270, 279 plus 751, 270 plus 750 is 1020. So 1030, so 1,030 years, right? Look, another 600 years. So 1,630 years. Are y'all hearing me right now? Then till now. Tell me when there's been a time of peace during the apex predator if they saw apex. Tell me when. And I'm going to read something to y'all for free for everyone to really understand my point here. We're going to the book of the Maccabees, the very first chapter, the very first verse. In the very first book, just in case I didn't hear me. The very first book of the Maccabees. Let's go ahead and break it down. Let's get there and let's read about it. And it says, one moment. Here we are. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians, and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations. Listen to this. Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries, and nations, and kings, who became tributaries unto him. After these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. Stop right there. In a 12-year period, this is my point. They've been at endless wars for thousands of years. In a 12-year period, Alexander managed not only to take over the entire earth, but bring it to peace. Let's just make sure that y'all didn't get that part messed up when I said that they were quiet. The whole earth was quiet before him. I don't know what people would think that would mean. Let's just read that. Let's just read that one more time. Insomuch, this is in the middle of verse 3. Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Why? Because he had made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations. Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Name one time. Name one time Genghis Khan. Name one time Temujin. Name one time Attila the Hun. Name one time, okay, the earth was quiet before somebody like Napoleon Bonaparte. And I rest my case. Well, let me tell y'all, man, these cats have been fighting endless wars forever and ever. And since they've been here, the last king, the last person I can tell you that the earth had any real peace with was with Alexander. He accomplished that in 12 years. They've been fighting for thousands of years and still haven't accomplished that much. Come on. Is anybody hearing me? Alexander did this in what years, y'all? Let's just go ahead and just roll it back. This is before the invasion of anybody. So that way y'all can understand I'm not stupid. Philip II assassinated. Alexander becomes the king of Macedonia. He dies when, right? Hold on, let's go ahead and go. Death of Alexander the Great. Listen, basically 40 years after he dies, these cats show up. Same barbarians that are in the book of the Maccabees. Stop it. The barbarous hordes. I don't even want to talk about it. Barbarous hordes are what they're called in the book of the Maccabees. Yet, they'll tell you right here that what? We have seen that the Roman Empire did not fall to murderous savages or barbarians. Murderous hordes of savage barbarians. Yet, I can read to you right now at the book of Enoch. Not the book of Enoch, but the Maccabees. Let me just go ahead and find something real fast, right? It shouldn't take me too long. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang, bang. Gotta find where they start fighting with these cats. Because it's a little while before they actually get crazy with them. Let me just find it. I know people be mad at me when I do stuff like this and I put the Bible in it, or so-called the Bible, but the book of the Maccabees is not considered biblical context, it's considered historical context. So even if people wanted to get mad that I brought the book of the Maccabees into it, you would have to understand that I only did so because, what's the word I'm looking for? It's considered history. It's not considered religious. That's neither here nor there, though. Why can't I find the little spot real fast where it said that they made the barbarous hordes flee before their faces? Maybe it's just not meant for me to find right now, y'all. I'm not gonna make myself find it right on, and I'm not gonna spend too much more time doing it. But just so y'all know that Galilee was a city of Gentiles. Maybe y'all didn't know that. In the Old Testament, in the book of the Judges, I want to say it's told that Galilee is the place of the Gentiles. Here in the book of the Maccabees, it confirms it again. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to rest my case on the fact that I know for a fact that unless you murdered folks in their sleep, hordes, and I mean hordes, came out of nowhere and started murdering folks. How do we know this? I'll have to bring it up this one time. This one time I have to bring it up. Where are we at? Where's my Silk Road at, man? Something not right, y'all. Storm. Nope. That's not hymns. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to let it be because I'll let myself get angry doing that. So, I'm going to check and see what everybody's saying, if they're saying anything at all, and then we'll go about it from there. I'm not worried about it, though, y'all. I know for a fact that these cats have been fighting wars, endless war upon endless war upon endless war. Peace. You know, look, man. It's deeper than they think. You know, there's more going on than people want to admit. For example, like I just showed y'all. Look, I just showed y'all. They can't deny it. Do they want to get on the 500 BCE train and go from 500 BCE till now? They've been fighting endless wars. The only question is how did y'all manage to do that if it tells us that Alexander had the whole earth quiet, ran everything, ransacked everybody? My point exactly. Is anybody gonna catch up with your boy? I'm not berating, belittling nobody, or trying to put you down. Is anybody here where I'm at? Is it clear that I just read to you? I can show you in history. If people talk about Alexander the Great all the time, Okay, this dude took over the entire known earth. Everywhere you can think of. Everywhere you can think of, there was troops from Greece, from Macedonia, from wherever, okay, who took over everything. Listen to what I'm saying. How did he accomplish that? And he didn't tell you nothing about no white-skinned barbarians. Think about that. Hadn't even seen them yet. Right. So that means that this cat who tried to tell us this, hold on, let me pull it up, because it's some bullshit. The cat who tried to tell us that what's it called? The histories of the Germans is lost in the sands of time, right? Word. He told us that, but the one problem with that is what? Well, they're saying about Alexander. Once again, I keep a couple aces up my sleeve. Stop. We're gonna pull it up real quick. Y'all gonna look and see it. Okay. Again, the origins of the Germanic tribes is lost in the sands of time. What little is known is based on linguistic evidence. We're gonna skip through all that. They're telling us, let's just read down here again. The smaller groups like the Latins and the Greeks come from them. But I'm telling y'all, Alexander didn't come from no Greek. I mean, he didn't come from no Latin bloodline. He's not even Greek. He's a Macedonian. By about 500 BCE, the Germanic tribes were occupying the southern shores of the Baltic and southern Scandinavia. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Didn't nobody hear about these cats until then. Right here. Right here. Didn't nobody know who the fuck they were about till about this time. Because in this same thing, look, whoa. Over here acting funny. Uh-oh. They're hating on your boy. 1 second. Let me do my window capture again. Bang. They want to try to act funny. They try to separate the tabs, cuz you gotta be fucked up. Anyway. Look. Let's just scroll down. The first written record, come on, let's get that up there. The first written record of the Germanic tribes by the Roman historian Tacitus in 98 BCE. Stop right there. It even goes on later on to say that the Romans, these same Romans who were fighting with these guys, were defeated soundly defeated in the year 9 AD, or the 9 Common Era. Once again, proof that once they got onto the scene, they had been warring. This motherfucking bastard who wrote this article would have you to believe that the Romans were trading with cats who they never talked about, but when they invaded, they decided to talk about it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes complete sense, don't it? That makes just all the sense in the world. That we did trade and commerce, but you never heard of me. I never talked to you. Nothing. Think about that. Think about it. Endless wars, y'all. They've been fighting this whole time. I just told y'all about a gentleman who held it down and did it in 12 years. You know he was a brother, gay boy or not. That's just one of those things where I'm like, I refuse to allow someone to tell me any old thing. Y'all better start refusing to be told any old thing. Because what I just showed y'all don't line up. So they're going to tell you on one thing that they've been there since 500 BCE, right? They'll tell you in another thing, right? That they weren't seen until 279 BCE. How you doing, Dark Child? Shalom. Oh, there we go. They'll tell you that, though. They want me and you to believe what? An absolute lie. A complete, utter lie. This is a fact. This is a fact. You know, they would have me and you to believe a straight up, stone faced, bold faced lie. And for some information, for some context, just to show you that, look, I'm not tripping. Okay. The ancient world didn't move like that. Give me one moment. How were relations? There we go. Ancient Indians and Egyptians, right? Everything should already be rolled out. I'm not going to read every last little thing, but there's going to be some major points that I get to. Matter of fact, I want to go down to the second guy who answered way back in 2016, because he points out something very, very important about how Westerners believe culture, and he's like pretty much that these dudes don't understand the Greek bias. Okay, one of the main mistakes that Western scholars make have been to approach the Vedic civilization using ancient Greece as their starting point. They look at the Vedas like the works of Homer, reflecting traditions like the Greeks, who only came on the scene during the late period 15 BCE. That's not true. That's not true. Right on? That's just not true. They view the Vedic people like ancient Greeks as mainly a warrior people. Stop right there. That's what I wanted to read to y'all. So, cats who want to believe that they're Grecians have painted this warrioristic picture on all the ancient civilizations. But let me just roll up to something. So that's just so y'all can see, because just you can't be warring and get this kind of stuff done that the Egyptians and that the Indians did. And we're going to read about them transplanting flora and fauna. I just got to read it. I just got to see it as it comes up. It's going to come up. Bang, bang, bang. Here we go. The land of Punt is best known for Queen Hatshepsut's famous expedition in 1493 BC in the 18th dynasty of Egypt, which brought back living trees to Egypt, marking the first known successful attempt at transplanting foreign fauna. Nonetheless, evidence suggests that Egyptians were trading with the land of Punt as early as the pharaoh Khufu in the 4th dynasty, 2589 to 2566 BC. Stop right there. We're just going to hit X on that. You know, I'm going to take this link. I'm going to put it in a joint copy. Y'all can go check this out on your own time. Right on? I've already read a whole bunch of that stuff. I just don't feel like keep reading. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and pull this down. Well, pull it out my way. Where am I at on the camera, though? Video capture device. Okay. Would have thought that I had my picture up already, but oh boy, I tell y'all, they try to do the most on this shit, and it's like I don't know why. They try to make it hard for me every time. They try to make it difficult for me every time, and all I'm doing is trying to show the people the information so that way they can see it and have it for themselves. Not for any other reason. So I don't get anything. Like I said, that came to me. Yes, sister, that came to me. That occurred to me as I said it last week. My apologies. Paste. Bang. Check this. Everybody wants to see all this blockbuster, movies and all this. Look. That's nonsense. What I'm showing you right now is that they have a culture of endless, ceaseless wars. Word? Endless and ceaseless. What I'm telling y'all is that I just showed you briefly that there was civilizations, okay, in the ancient times who attempted to do things that these cats couldn't even imagine, like bringing a tree thousands of miles or hundreds of miles from one place and putting it in another. They just figured out how to do things like that. And these cats are doing that thousands of years ago. You can't accomplish trade routes. You can't have trade. You can't do any of those things if, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're constantly at one another's neck. Right on? How can you, so for example, how do you tell me that people built a house but nobody agrees on how the house is supposed to be built? That doesn't make sense. Right. Slaves built America under under the worst of conditions and severe oppression. But the country's about ready to fall because the labor that it was built upon, it no longer has to sustain it. You understand what I'm saying? So they can try to tell you, I come from this land, I come from this land. More than likely, they come from a culture of continuous, endless wars. It's a fact. What have they been doing in Africa since they sold all those niggas to the white folks? Warring and beefing with each other. Right. That's a fact. What have they been doing? Look, the Pashtun, the Afghanis will tell you for the 1,500 years of history that they know that they believe they have, all they've been doing is warring. That's it. So I can't make anyone believe, I can't make anyone accept that. You are living in a culture, you are living around groups of folks who literally, all they know is war. This is why they continue to plan for wars, because they don't have the mindset. And mind you, once again, these are cats who murdered people in the middle of the night, turned on the same very civilization. You wouldn't need to preserve its institutions. You wouldn't need to preserve the culture if you hadn't tampered with the culture and the institutions. This is a fact. But because they have an endless war mentality, how can anybody respect that, man? I'm at the point where I'm like, is it not clear? Is it not clear? Let's go ahead and look one more thing up before I roll out, because I want y'all to really see. And this ain't got nothing to do with no white folks. This is just, knowing the information and then having it and using it a certain way. So I'm gonna go here, Google Hindi. If y'all thought I was chinny, bye bye. That's right. Come on. Let's go ahead and go all the way down to something that's going to make it right. I need an old article. I don't want nothing new. (1954), the fall of the Hindi Chini Bye Bye. Listen, it never fell. I'm going to tell you what happened. The Indians got their independence before the Chinese did. The Chinese weren't feeling that. That's just plain and simple. But let me just, I gotta get something. Come on. Is this it? Can we use this one? Is this old enough? I need somebody who's going to keep it real. Yeah, Sergey going to keep it real. This is from 2014. There we go. There we go. Here we go. 1 second. Always got something for y'all. You're messing with my patience, y'all. See, what they do is, if you bring down the window too much, right, it'll try to make it to where you can't get it. So then you have to go and re-add the feature to the OBS. I don't know what you call it. 1 second. Dang. Load up just a little bit. need some fucking cooperation. She about to piss me all the way off. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to widen it out. I'm trying to blow it up, and it's acting like a pump. There we go. Ever since India lost a brief border war to China in 1962, the same year that the Indians got their independence, it has resented and mistrusted its neighbor to the north. When Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru visited Beijing in October 1954, expectations were high that the leaders of the world's two most populous nations could build a bilateral relationship based on dignity and respect. The U.S. does not recognize us two countries as great powers. Chinese Communist Party Chairman Mao Zedong told Nehru, according to archival material released on September 15th by Wilson Center, let us propose that they hand over their big power status to us, all right? India was a new and messy democracy. China, an impoverished communist dictatorship. Culturally, politically, and socially, they were worlds apart. Yet, for a brief period in the mid 50s, China and India came together in the spirit of Hindi Chini Bye Bye. India and China are brothers. Now, let's stop right there. Let me go ahead and point something out to y'all. It's not by accident that they were saying this. Islam and the Turks. Oh, see, I'm too cold. I'm too cold. I do too much reading, and I bring it together so that way people can really know what the hell is going on. Let's roll it up. Bang. Can y'all see that? Okay, y'all can see that. All right, let's roll down. Let's just hit it up real quick. Okay. Buddhism won the favor of many of the rulers who were the Khazars, right? Let's just go ahead and keep going down. We're just gonna read till we're just gonna skip right till they made the Punjab class. Okay? I'm looking for it. Bang, 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 bang. Here we go. Slave soldiers who were the Khazars were slave soldiers. They made their own dynasties in Egypt. Okay? The Ilk Shadid. Where do you think they got that from? You know what I'm saying? Punjab, right? Look though. So these Khazars not only are in China, but they're also in India. Now, how and why people don't understand that is a major thing? Go ahead and just open up another window real fast because I got none but time for you. Where are we at? Sitting on Britannica, is it? Okay, good. The Ilkhans were a Mongol minority ruling over a Muslim majority. Stop, man. I need y'all to get what I'm trying to talk about right now. These same dudes, okay, had children with people of the Khazar branch who went into not only what you consider China, but also India and created different ruling classes. The Hindi Chini Bye Bye is based on a Khazarian and a Khanate relationship from over 1,000 years ago. Stop it. Anyway, they don't want that. They really don't. When I say they don't want none, they really don't. We go ahead and just break this window out. Remove. Yes. So, whether people believe or not that they are fighting endless wars, whether people believe it or not that these are cats that you don't even know who the fuck they are, you have no idea what they're about, nothing. They want you to think that they're all the same. They want you to believe that they all did the same work. They want you to believe something that's just not true. I don't want you to believe that. Not only do I not want you to believe that, but I'm more for the idea and for the line of thought that if they tell you something and all this information does not line up, somebody's lying. So the thing is, I didn't write down when the Romans seen them, nor did I write down when the Greeks seen them. But I read to y'all that Alexander took over all the known world, the entire known earth, through the ends of the earth. Listen, y'all, Alexander didn't know who the fuck no Gauls were. Word? That shit would have been written down way back then. Listen. Now, I know that cats don't want to hear this. Gentiles have been on the earth for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. These particular branches of Gentile genealogy were brand new to the earth. Nobody knew about them, and they haven't even been on the surface for 2,000 years. It's no wonder that they don't know how to live in peace. They've never been around real people. They murdered all the people that lived in those lands. Alexander was known for letting people to maintain their way of life so long as they paid tribute. Think about this. 12 years. He took over everything. So you're telling me that these cats who came out of nowhere, blitzkrieg the whole earth, couldn't take it all over and still just have complete control over it? Why don't they? Endless wars, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, they think they're apex, they think they have no known predator, but their first known predator is themselves, is their way of life, is what they believe to be righteous, which is not righteous. See, before I roll out, because this will need to be long. This is just to get in and out, like my boy Corey Tyler said. Okay, I hope y'all taking notes. I really do. I hope y'all are, I'm not putting, the only link I'm putting in there is the one about India and Egypt. So that way, anybody who questioned or wanted to question my perception as to that brother that I showed y'all, this brother, hold on. I'll show him one more again, just so that way can't nobody say that I'm trying to pull the wool lesky over your eyes. I couldn't be, though. I couldn't even be trying that. It's impossible I'm trying that. Window capture. Come on. Okay. Bang. Bang. Look. Look, look, look. Okay? Look, look, look. All right? You feel me? I need y'all to see. Look, look, look. This man bred with the same, not him, but the bloodline that he comes from, bred with all those in South Asia. I told y'all what South Asia was. So, once again, what color do you think Alexander was? If I showed y'all that Hannibal was black, he lived in 230-something BC, what color do you think the Romans were? If they didn't talk about no Roman they didn't talk about no Gauls or no barbarians until 98 BCE. Huh? What color do you think all these cats were? Once again, where the fuck did they come from? When somebody can riddle me that, then I'll step back and I'll fall back on the idea that they're all not fighting an endless war because they know that they don't belong on the earth. Man. I know. I don't fight fair. I fight fire with water. Can you dig it? Can you hear me? I fight fire with water, not with fire. We're putting that ass all the way out. See, that's what we do. Whether anybody, once again, I can't dictate what you understand or what you perceive. That's not my job. I can't disseminate the information for you and make you get it like I get it. All I can do is present it to you and pray to God that you do get it. That's it. That something I'm saying resonates to your person. And you say, okay, why is he talking about all this? The same groups I'm talking about are going to war right now. They've never stopped fighting. That's what I'm talking about. And if you trace back their history, you'll understand why they've never stopped fighting. Because they're not from the earth. Not from the top side of it, at least. This matters. They want you and me to be in complete, utter confusion. We got 5 more minutes, y'all. Right on? We got 5 more minutes. And your boy's going to be up out of here because he feels like that I've done the damage that I need to do. Once again, I'm not here to belittle or berate or bring down anyone. I just want y'all to see the information from a peculiar point of view where they present it to you with a bunch of different videos. Listen, they create diagrams of what they believe to have happened, but they weren't there. I'm telling you based on what everybody virtually agrees to and what some of them don't agree to. And I'm showing you that based on what they have, supposed to be so-called scholars, the information does not coincide with itself. It is conflicting upon itself. And that must be viewed as problematic. And then we must look at other points in history. We'll use Alexander as the latest, where in which all the earth was at what you could consider some form of peace. Now, nobody wants to hear that. Because that will destroy and shatter all that they believe about earth history. Right. To think that Alexander brought peace to the earth after the wars. First and foremost, every nation he went to, they weren't just regular people in those nations. There were many Gentiles in those nations. But the point being this, those Gentiles had no power. This much power. In fact, it would be groups like the Greeks who would later help sophisticate, okay, and give culture to the Gauls, like the Romans did. They're not going to tell you that the Gauls picked up game from the Grecians. How can these civilizations have been ran into the ground before Common Era? Both of them ran into the ground. Fighting against had to have been hordes of barbarians. Like I said, unless you want me to believe that they just murdered everyone in their sleep and they just pulled off the coup, you know what I'm saying? Right? The coup d'etat. They just pulled it off, huh? Without knowing anything. The same cats who came up out of nowhere can't even tell you their gene structure. Can't even tell you why their hair falls down like a horse. All I can say is it's amazing that folks believe when a white person, so-called white person, a Gentile, they believe Gentiles. They believe a Gentile when the Gentile says that there's humanoids on the earth. I tell the people that the term humanoid and human are derivations of man and Gentile. Niggas think I'm crazy. But yet you believe the white folks. So who am I supposed to, once again, who am I supposed to think is taking it all that serious when I know that they don't get it? Word? I'm trying to break it down. I can't focus in on any one little thing. My brain doesn't work like that. That's not how I perceive information. You don't connect the dots by staying in one area. You connect the dots by moving all over the map. If you can't see the dots that have been connected, you should probably take the time to reassess the information that I have presented based upon world history. If you don't like what you're hearing, you don't have to like what you're hearing. Look, if you don't agree with me, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Disprove what I'm saying, right? Give me the information that is supposed to be everything, all perfect. Because the only thing that I claim is totally righteous information is the scripture. This is how I'm able to get my basis and my understanding for what I'm saying to y'all now. I don't have to read about it in the Bible when there was peace round about for any kind of nation. I don't have to do that. I'm not required to do that. What you're required to do as a grown individual who can think for themselves is to put yourself in the best position to not only receive the information, but to acknowledge the information. You don't have to agree, but you must accept what you heard. I accept that the Gentiles are on this earth. I accept that. What I don't agree with is their story as to how things came about. They want me to believe that they came out of Africa with other people who spread out, dispersed themselves, and these gene variations just came about out of nowhere. Once again, y'all, I think I'm about done. We're an hour in. I'm not going to beat myself down with all this information. Right on. I'm not going to make it harder for myself. I'll make it easier for myself. The video's here. The information's here. We'll see what people like. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what everyone is believing come that day. I do love you. I salute you. May tomorrow be better than today, and may your next week be better than last week.